me Srini. I head the life and pensions practice in Wipro Technologies. A quick introduction about Wipro. We are a global IT service company. We serve 800 plus customers, including 35 insurance customers. Operations across the globe with 54 centers and 130,000 employees work for us. We work with partners like Silverbridge and insurers in handling IT services. So that's about my company. The topic I'm going to discuss, before the topic I should thank Mr. Dr. Dirk. He created an excellent platform which I can now build on. Whatever I want to speak, actually he has created me the platform. So what I'm going to do is, all this he has spoken about, I'm going to show you how it has been practiced across different geographies. So the topic I'm going to discuss is the strategies which I believe will help to improve the efficiency of the life insurer. This is based on our experience with working with the other insurers across the globe. So maybe for another 25 minutes, I will take you out of this geography. We will spend 25 minutes what's happening in other geographies from our experience, what's being applied as a lever for helping improve the efficiency. And finally, we will come back here to see how it can apply to the local market needs. So that's the topic. How I'm going to structure the topic is, I've divided them into 4 different sections. Let me start with what I believe are the factors which are influencing the efficiency of the life insurer. Then I will move on to various strategies which I believe can help. There are a lot of strategies, but we will pick up some key themes which are very much related to what we heard in the last discussion. We will elaborate the themes and let's see how exactly can it apply to the various scenarios and the processes within the operations in insurance. And finally, we will see how it can apply to the local market. I'm not expert in the local market, but I will just share my thought how it can apply to the local market. That's how I have structured the discussion. So with that, let me take on to the few slides. This is broad level discussion point I have in mind. The efficiency, it's in today's context is much relevant. Whatever I'm going to discuss is very much specific to the life insurance. So maybe it's very different than your previous sessions because whatever I'm going to speak, whatever I'm going to refer are all core insurance operation and processes. Relevant to the context, I feel the top line growth is becoming challenging. When your numerator, which is your top line growth, is challenged, everybody is looking at the denominator, which is the cost efficiency. So that's where the context of efficiency comes to important. I feel the enterprise efficiency is a response to various business problems that we face in the industry. Looking at the global market trends, the aftermath, the economic environment, the instability, the recession, still not many companies have come out of it. Sparingly, insurer was less impacted from the recession, although the impacts are still there. The volatility in the equity market, the low interest rates play a lot of problems. And employment volatility, this impacts a lot of growth in the new business we see in the market, squeezing profit margin. And more importantly, the regulations like the solvency in Europe and SRM here is going to play a major role in capital efficiency. Next 3 to 4 years, this is what the market is all going to do, and it's a major lever for your capital efficiency. Growing consumerism, lot of regulations, Consumer Protection Act here, and the demand of the new generation customer is increasing. The channel that you provide the service with is not going to be enough because you need to be technology agnostic to understand what are the new channels to attack the new customers. And finally, the most important point, the growing emerging markets. Let me just give you a statistics. In the next 30 to 40 years, the global population is to grow by 32%, out of which 29% of the growth is, the population growth is only in the emerging market. What does it mean for the insurer? The market which have already grown are saturated, not just from the business perspective, also from the population. Look at the Germany or Italy, the population is declining. It will decline by 14 to 20% in the next 30 years. The population is going to increase in the emerging market. What does it mean? the global insurers are eyeing at the emerging markets. They are going to expand into the market because of the growth. It's not just from the market segmentation, it's a huge market. So the competition is going to be inevitable. A lot of global players are looking at the emerging markets. So that's what we are seeing as the global market trends. The whole topic of discussion is to identify what are the efficiency levers which will help. Understanding the process is something which cannot move away when we talk about the efficiency, and smart adoption of the technology and right sourcing are some of the levers. I'm not going to spend time here because the whole purpose of the discussion is on the right side of the box. So with that, let me move on to the next topic. This is, actually I wanted to make a small fishbone diagram, but the underlying problems in the industry is such that it is becoming like a whale, it's a jaws. So still I try to make it into a small fish. The problems are so many when it comes to the efficiency. Let me start with the landscape, the business landscape. Too complex for an insurer. Either it's because of the merger and acquisition, you bring in multiple companies, multiple brands, product channels. The complexity plays a major part when it comes to the efficiency. Complex technology landscape, surround system. Let me give an example. We worked with a global number 5 insurer in the globe when there was the merger and acquisition of 6 to 7 companies. What happened is we ended with 950 IT systems. When I say IT system, it's not just core, it's all ancillary systems. The problem is such that we don't know who is the owner of some systems. Nobody could help who is owning such certain MI systems. How do you find out? Group mails doesn't help. The organization doesn't know who manages certain IT systems. The best way we found to understand who is the owner is shut off the system for 3 to 4 days. Let us see who is crying. I just want to give this example to show the complexity when mergers and acquisitions. We are seeing this problem growing in European market. We have seen that in the North American market. Because merger and acquisition is supposed to be some of the lever for your organic growth, so you can't avoid that. So legacy IT, whatever the technology, new technology trends we are going to talk about, it's very difficult to fix with the legacy IT system. So you need to look for the modern IT systems, which help you to speed to market, which is configurable. We're talking about the externalizing the business rule. It's going to be challenging with your legacy IT system. And finally, the complex products and the processes. Unless you normalize your process, standardize your process, and simplify your product portfolio, it's going to be much difficult, and that's going to impact the efficiency. External market, I spoke about a lot of external market trends, the regulations, especially in the solvency. Some of the analysts feel it is good for the industry, but when it actually comes to an implementation, the inherited problem in adhering to the regulation and competition plays a major impact on the efficiency. Let me go to the operations management, which is it's a direct contributor for your efficiency. Whatever the process that you have, if they are not automated completely, it will not give you the result which you expect. A lot of improvement in the process is required, and training, which is going to play a major role. It is not just because of the attrition happening in the employee space. You need to make that people train, and when we are talking about the right sourcing and outsourcing, unless it's a proper training, it is very difficult to make sure that we provide the efficiency. Forecasting and planning also plays a key role. I'm not going to elaborate each and every point because some of them are very, very straightforward. Capital management has a direct impact with your efficiency. Unless you have a proper reinsurance strategy to move some of your risks, is going to play an important role in the efficiency. Capital allocation is again a key factor to make sure that you move your capital into the right product portfolio which are going to give you the results. Coming into the customer management, I was telling about the next generation customers. Generation customers are all mainly hooked into the network, social networks, internet, and it's very difficult to keep them satisfied. Growing consumerism is what I'm talking, because the product is commoditized. You can't change the product. We were discussing about the innovation in the industry. So very difficult to make innovations inside the product portfolio. The innovation that you can bring is on the services. How do you reach out to the new customers and the new generation customers? Claims management, a lot of fraudulent claims, unless you have a predictive modeling to understand where the leakage is, not only from the clients, also from the commission leakages. Again, from our example, we have seen various insurers struggling with n number of commission systems and paying a lot of additional commissions or less commission, a lot of problem happening in the commission leakages as well. Sales management, it's a very important topic. What we are seeing is the trend is the people who would like to take the profession of agent is declining in some of the developed markets. People are afraid to take the profession as an agent. It's not a good sign for the growing market because of the likes of RDR in UK and US. It's going to be a major because it's not only the new generation customers, it's also the agents come from the new generation and they like to have new technology and tools when they go for the sales. And retaining and training the agents is going to be important. Again, we are seeing this impact in America, in Europe and the UK. So these are some of the factors I feel is actually impacting the efficiency. And from surveys feel that 80% of the business leaders feels that IT is a key contributor for improving the efficiency. That's why I'm going to move on to certain factors which will help to improve the efficiency. So I'm going to show you a number of levers. Please don't get confused. This is actually the number of problems we have seen, equally number of solutions are available in the market. But it is not something you can do everything. That's why I made it as a short term, medium term and long term. Certain such solutions are low-hanging fruits. You can do it immediately. You can take the benefits, which is on the right side. So I've also categorized them into different kind of efficiency levers. Some of these levers could help you in your cost efficiency. Some of them could be on your capital, and some of them could be operations. And some levers would satisfy all the efficiency objectives. Automation, SDP always comes in the top. And we discussed about the right sourcing, or identifying the right process and the right location is going to be the key. But I have not put it as a short term because it needs a lot of, internally the organization should be ready to take such a step. That's why it's on the right side. Operational efficiency, right from starting a dashboard and moving into a capacity modeling, knowledge management, and the workflow plays a major role when it comes to the operational efficiency. We will see some of these levers when we go forward. Capital efficiency, analytics is an important topic I'm going to discuss when we go forward because I still believe the potential of analytics has not been completely utilized in the industry, and that's going to play a major role when it comes to revenue or capital efficiency. And having a right kind of reinsurance strategy is very important. And cloud, which is, we discussed a lot about the cloud, how it is going to impact your CapEx infrastructure, and that we will discuss when we. And a lot of other levers, right from your IT system consolidation to moving to your direct portal, sales and service portal. This is the channel which is going to gain a momentum in the next 3 to 5 years, and we will speak more about that. Hub and spoke model is not something new, but current context is giving a lot of importance towards moving to a specialized factory model. We will discuss about that. And mobility and social media. Social media, I have something to talk, but the only problem, social media is something that you cannot avoid. You should have it, but it doesn't give the direct efficiency improvement which is relevant for this topic. But let's discuss what are the scenarios that the social media can be applied to the current insurance operations. Some of the factors like single customer view, CRM, having a data standard when you have to talk with a disparate external system, data standards needs importance. So I'm going to pick up a few key themes from this: the process, the mobility, the cloud, the analytics, which is an important topic. These are all the key themes I'm going to discuss. Elaborate. Let me give some examples how this can apply to any of the process. So mobility, analytics, and the process, hub and spoke, and the cloud are the 5 key themes I would spend some more time now. Let's start with the mobility. The penetration is outstanding. It's beyond our imagination. The reason being, the cost of the device is such a low, it is directly impacted to the cost of the device, whether it's a PC or laptop. The penetration is not as to mobile. Now, if you look at the penetration, it is almost, when I say the penetration, it's a lot of smartphones. 75% of the market is having a smartphone. And if you look at 2020, the number of devices is going to exceed the number of population of the globe. So it is not something that whether you should enter the mobility, it's just a matter of when you should enter and what are the process you can move into the mobility is the only question that is to be answered. So let me give you an example how the mobility can help improve some of the process in the industry. It is difficult to start everything because it is difficult to expose all your process into mobility. The first and foremost process that can come into picture is the sales. As I was mentioning, the new generation customers and new generation agents. Agents obviously need some kind of tools and device which will help him to complete the sales process on time. Let me take you through some scenarios. Let's take a point of sale. The surprising thing is when we are discussing about the innovation is not coming from the developed markets. We are seeing the innovations, a lot of requests are coming to us from the emerging markets. They want to invent new things using the mobility. Maybe that is because of the growing competition in the emerging market. When there is a competition, there is a lot of innovation coming out. The point of sale is a typical example. Even an insurer gave us a video shoot what he wants to achieve using a tablet mobile device. What he wants to do is to give a tablet to all his agents, direct agents. What they wanted to do is it is not just a mobility, it is integration of various processes. A lot of analytics also has to help the mobility. So what they want is a typical scenario is the tablet, all the leads that you get from different sources should be get sorted in a way the analytics should go and help the agent to tell which are all the leads that you should target first. There are 100 leads, obviously not the 100 are going to be converted into the policy. The analytics comes to help to the agent and tell these are all the 10 or 20 leads you target first because the probability of conversion in these leads are much higher than the other leads. So you start from there, then there is a contact management. It's all the process happening in the same device at the same time. The guy does the contact, takes an appointment with the prospect. He then goes to the prospect, he shows the product. How he shows the product? The tablets cannot have the logic algorithm built within a device because your products are such a complex, it cannot stay in the tablet. So it comes the connectivity, your backend product configurator or any other external system. It's very important to know that the data communication, the network plays an important role. But now I feel that the 3G connectivity and the networks are improving. I think that will help. But I just wanted to show the challenges also when I explain the scenario. The guy hooks onto the product server and he shows the codes and he recommends. And if there is if there need any collaboration, it can talk to the back office guy through a video chat. If you need to take a photo, take it and upload immediately. And some regulations are allowing a biometric e-signature so that the sale process gets completed then and there. So every process happens in a matter of 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the type of the product. I'm just not exaggerating. If it is a simple product, the sale conversion can happen quickly, but if it's a complex investment linked product, then there is a need of a lot of advice. But the entire process happens in the same instrument at the same time, increasing a very good productivity in the sales, and the conversions are so fast. You don't need to wait for a wet signature, you don't need to wait for the application to reach your back office, index, workflow. You're cutting across various processes. So that's the benefit the mobility and the tablets can bring into the industry. Let me move on to social media. It is, as I said, it is something cannot be ignored. But how it can apply to your day-to-day operations. It's going to be an external, one more channel to the industry. It's going to be your eyes and ears to know what's happening in the industry. Again, some of the levers cannot be used as it is. You need an analytics, which can actually do a social, it needs to understand what's the people's perception about your company in the market. Again, you need an analytics. What are the sentiments happening in the market? If you want to launch a new product, people tweet about the product in in the social media to get the feedback, what the people believe about the product. If there is any service issue, the companies go into the social media and respond to those issues. So these are some of the scenarios that we feel that social media can help. Either to engage in the sales or service process, you need a social media. To understand whether your product can perform better, you want to know the sentiments in the market, you need a social media. New generation, obviously you need a social media, because I'm not telling about the new generation. It's a surprising fact that a lot of grandfathers use social media. 22% of the grandfathers use social media to chat with their grandchildren. So the trends are changing. It's not something only the 20 to 40 years people use. It's different actually. Even 70 to 80 uses the social media. That's what surprising statistics are coming in the market. Social collaboration is very important when you have to communicate. It cuts across the boundary. Agent wants to talk to your back office wants to talk to. It's a very fast. The information, even the news comes before BBC, it comes to the Facebooks and Twitters. That's what the social media is bringing. I believe the industry should effectively use it. It is not going to be a lever which will directly improve your efficiency, but it will definitely a lever which will contribute to the growth. Analytics is, as I said, the potential of analytics is not completely utilized in the industry. With the data being used in the industry, with the volume of the data, with the complexity of the data, unless you do have an analytics strategy, it is very difficult, because analytics is not just going to be a contributor to one specific problem. It has to be spread across the value chain, right from your sales and distribution till your clients. You need to have an analytics strategy across each of the levers. And the good thing about the analytics is many of these offerings are coming as a risk-reward model. I will explain you what I mean by the risk-reward. Sales and customer analytics, I just picked up only the few important analytics, because as I said, there are a lot of analytics solutions that can be used. The sales and customer analytics, understanding the insight of the customer, measuring your productivity of the agent. And even in the call center, we have seen there is an increasing use of the speech and text analytics, because we are talking about outsourcing, right sourcing, so many things, but how will you measure the productivity? How will you feel that the customer has been satisfied? Pick up the keywords in the conversation. Analytics gives the final report whether it's not just a normal CSAT is not going to help you. You need to find the innovative ways. How can you actually measure the satisfaction of the customers? So speech and text analytics have been started, means increasing play in the call center applications. And social media analytics, we just discussed about how do you measure the sentiments of the market as another important factor. Predicting your churn, predicting your clients, predicting which customer you can sell, this is going to be a key, because your customer is not just for one product. You can, lot of upsell, cross-sell opportunities can get generated from the analytics. You can monitor the life cycle changes, even changes in the customer, and customize the product offering. And we have seen, even when the business is sold to an institution where the group insurance, it is very easy to predict what the customer expects. The tailored offering is going to be an important factor. So that's why analytics, to understand the upsell, cross-sell opportunity, is going to play an important role. Customer retention, I was telling you about the risk-reward model. How the industry is moving in other geographies is outcome-based model. How the service companies like Wipro engage now is like, if your persistency is this much percentage, you deploy the solution and you pay only when the desired outcome is reached. If you want to retain 10% of the customers which are supposed to be lapsed or churn, the reward will come only when those specific targets have been achieved. And that gives a tremendous benefit. It's a win-win situation both for the services company and for the insurance company, because you're not going to do a marketing to retain your customers to the entire base. You have to make a selection of which are all the customers that should target, which are the customers are likelihood of lapse. So that's analytics, because your energy effort has to be focused on specific segment. So predictive analytics, and also for the claims, is very important to understand which are all the clients which you believe is the fraudulent client, so that your efforts can be focused. Risk management, understanding the capital mix, where it should go, which product mix it should go, And measuring the performance of the organization using a dashboard is a key benefit from analytics. Underwriting and risk assessment, a lot of unwanted requirements can get cut using analytics, because for better underwriting we ask for various requirements, but actually the analytics gives a different picture. There are only few requirements which contribute to the underwriting standards. So understand within the organization data that what factors actually contribute for your underwriting effectiveness. You need to know from analytics which are all the requirements I can optimize so that my process can be efficient. So these are all some of the levers from analytics which can improve the efficiency. It's another important topic. I should thank Brish for taking this topic. And what I'm going to say is how this cloud are actually been implemented by some of the insurers. There's a long roadmap. The server virtualization has started. It's already completed. Companies are trying to virtualize their servers so that internally you are ready for going into the next phase. The current adoption we are seeing is moving towards the cloud and moving towards the infrastructure as a service. And in the bottom, I've actually given the roadmap, starting with an infrastructure, then moving on to the platform, then moving on to the SaaS, and then the BPaaS is something that the industry will take when you go to 3 to 4 years. And there are a lot of mobile workforce which can hook onto the device in the cloud, provide the service. So this is the roadmap we think will take next 3 to 4 years in the cloud. I can share you some of the example what other insurers are doing in cloud. So you can divide into the portfolio into which are all the core, which are all the non-critical and mission-critical applications. If you look at the lower end, there are a lot of non-mission critical applications like e-signatures, your functions like HR payroll. A lot of companies have started using the cloud. This is what we are seeing in many places. And some of the companies moved. Salesforce.com is an excellent example. The CRM, a lot of insurers are using the Salesforce.com for their CRM solutions. Some of the billing, these are all short-term insurance, non-life insurers, are using the core platforms from the cloud. There is an issue in the industry about the public and private cloud. I definitely feel that the technology will give an answer for the data sensitive issues. So this is what we believe as the cloud strategy going forward, how it will impact the efficiency is going to reduce your CapEx infrastructure charges. It's going to help you for a speed to market, and there is a new project when you're struggling for a hardware software environment. Cloud is an answer which will help to improve and the agile method of delivering a project. Process, standardization, and automation. This topic and the efficiency cannot be taken separate, because whatever the technology levers have to follow after the standardization of the process. And what we are seeing in the trend is a lot of insurers are trying to standardize the product, not just across the products and channels, and across the geographies as well. Some of the insurers are bringing a platform which can support multiple geographies. We will speak about hub and spoke next, but standardizing the process is a first step before you take any other steps. And automating, I was telling you about the self-service portal. A lot of key processes are getting automated. A lot of self-service portal is gaining the momentum. The reason is a lot of virtual agents can be now integrated with the portals. When I say virtual agents, these are all the avatars which can guide the customer either through the sales process or service process. It's not just a portal where the customer goes and does a transaction. Actually, the avatars, it tries to bring the real world. When the customer walks into an industry, it does a transaction, it gives that kind of feeling. So D2C portals are gaining momentum. And today's generation sales process is very different from the traditional sales process. The guy is not going to use a single channel. He is going to Google it to understand the product. Then he is going to call a call center guy to understand more about the product. Then he is going to call an agent. There are multiple channels involved, so which actually impact the efficiency in the sales process. So these D2C channels using the concept like virtual agent will definitely improve the efficiency in the sales process. And a lot of tools like the e-apps, the e-signatures, e-forms, as we discussed, is going to help the NB STP in much faster way. So we are seeing the standardization automation is something, it's an ongoing, it's a continuous enhancement in the industry. Hub and spoke, it's not something new in the industry, but when the insurers, and I say, is expanding globally across to various geographies, we feel the hub and spoke is a critical factor. The hub can be a market where the cost of operation is very less. Identify the key process which can move into the hub, and the spokes can be the region specific or local specific processes can still stay on the spokes. Market analysts believe that some of the processes like underwriting, invest management are best suited to move into the hub, and the process which requires the local media interaction and investors, the legal and regulatory can stay on the spokes. It's given a very specialized service. The factory model will improve the efficiency in much faster way. So this I want to touch on hub and spoke. The last topic, I think the 25 minutes we've been around what's happening in the trend. Coming back to the South African market, understand, I think from my perspective, I believe that if you have to take a journey to improve the efficiency, the analytics is something should be targeted first, because it gives potential. The analysts believe that 90% of the return on investment you can get on analytics. And also, the models like risk reward will help you to be a cautious player. You are not going to upfront invest on many of the analytics initiatives. So that gives a priority for the analytics. And moving on to the process standardization, unless you standardize the process, any of the levers that you want to bring in is not going to benefit. So process and mobility and hub and spoke are something I feel it should take an order of priority when you. I'm not including IT and solvency in the roadmap because those are very, when I say IT, the platform consolidation are very much has to go on in hand from the beginning. From the industry perspective, I believe the SAM, which is the solvency, is 2014, and a lot of focus will go towards the solvency compliance before 2014. That's going to play a major role, and I believe the competition in direct customer channels are gaining lot momentum here because of there are surveys which say you do a transaction through online and you do it through person, it actually reduces 12 times the cost of doing the transaction manually to the transaction which are going through the online channels. And 62% of the people believe mobility and the online channels are best placed for doing a transaction with the insurance industry. So D2C is going to gain momentum in the industry, and I believe there is not much traction or the competition is not up to the mark for the D2C. I think there is a focus should be more on the D2C portals. And linking the insurance system with the distributor partners, data standards have to be there. And urban spoke market, I think African countries, there is a huge amount of potential to expand into the other African countries, and the countries like South Africa can act as an hub to provide, and the other countries can act as a spoke, and the specialized processing can happen in one place, which will give a much better efficiency. This all, I believe, can apply to the local market. And with that, I think I finished my discussion, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity.